I'm Roy Lee Lindsay with the North Carolina Pork Council, and I want everyone to remember, bacon makes everything better.
Everybody, David Glenn from the North Carolina Sports Network coming at you from 2024 ACC Kickoff in Charlotte. Our coverage, as always, brought to you by the North Carolina Pork Council. Our next guest was born and raised in Miami, Florida. He was a two-time national champion as a star player with the Miami Hurricanes. He was the very successful head coach of the Oregon Ducks before returning to his alma mater as the head coach. Now he's entering year 3 as the leader of the Canes, coming off of 7 wins and a bowl trip. Mario Cristobal, welcome to the David Glenn Show, Coach. How are you?
Doing well. Thanks for having me.
It's great to have you. I remember you as a player. I'm old enough to do that. And those glory days included 5 national championships and a lot of other great success. I think of great coaches and great players. What else do you point to besides those obvious elements that made for those glory days of Miami football?
Well, it was always about the culture, right? And the people and the actions of the people make up the culture. And I remember being a player drawn to the University of Miami because of the way those older guys set the standards for the younger guys. And that led to just a constant flow of just really, really high standards, expectations, discipline, toughness. And it led to some unbelievable football teams and a great run.
You were not part of the Canes for their entire 20-year tenure here in the ACC, obviously. But when you all joined the league, I believe you were an assistant coach with the Canes at the time, back in 2004. It's been 20 years with no ACC titles, and it's been 20 years without a top 10 finish in the final polls. What went wrong, or what strayed away from those glory days over these last 2 decades as you're trying to get the Canes back where they were?
Well, I've been away, so I can't comment on what went on here. I respect everyone that's gone through here, because if you wear a Cane helmet, a Hurricane coaching shirt, you're a Miami Hurricane. But certainly there was a time where Miami was dominating the college football world, and then there were some ups and downs along the way. But during that time is when I had the opportunity to go away and learn more about the way college football was modernizing itself, right? Time at Alabama, time at the University of Oregon, and allowed myself to learn under some, maybe the best of all time under Coach Saban, and then implement those principles and values into the program out west as well. And so in coming back and assessing Miami at the starting point, it was very apparent that the areas of talent acquisition, the areas of player development, the areas of strength and conditioning, just overall culture, alignment of the administration, alignment of the academic side of things, of player development, you name it, had to be put together in a way that made sense for Miami. And that's what we've been working relentlessly on. And it does start and end with the guys that you have upstairs in the coaching offices, right? And so we've really worked hard to put together a strong, very educated, very impactful coaching staff that now has continuity for the first time in a long, long time. We have worked really hard at the roster, and talent acquisition has taken a tremendous upgrade as well. And the best part about it is that their mentality, these are like-minded guys that love to work. So all those things combined just continue to make our progress significant at Miami.
When you were in the ballroom upstairs earlier, you had a really cool quote, and I want to ask you what elements went into this quote. I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but it was basically, Miami football is again starting to look like what Miami football should look like. How many elements go into a specific statement like that?
Well, you look at the line of scrimmage, first and foremost, right? Are you big? Are you powerful? Are you able to affect and impact the game at the line of scrimmage? Because if you can, then your quarterback has a better chance. Your running backs have a better chance. We've really bolstered the running back room with some high-level older talent, some returning talent, some portal talent, and some high school talent. And we felt we got ourselves the best quarterback that there is out there, who's even a better human being and a better leader. And I think that with some veteran wide receivers, an unbelievable tight end core, and a front seven that has really just worked hard, has attained more talent, a back end that continues to improve and has really good talent, tremendously high work ethic. The natural progression of a program that has been working really hard and doing a lot of the right things to continue to take steps to be better.
You mentioned that special quarterback. His name is Cam Ward. He was insanely good at the FCS level for a couple years, and then insanely good at Washington State of the Pac-12, Coach Cristobal's old turf, if you will, before signing with the Canes in the transfer portal. I heard you describe him as, quote, a real one, an alpha guy, and you just mentioned also a great person, the obvious great athlete. What makes him such a right fit for your style of offense and your program?
Your offense needs a general. Your offense needs a guy that is going to take command and has a presence, that has the trust and respect of not only the offense but everyone in the building, both in the locker room, the coaching offices, the front office, the administration. And Cam is that and more. He holds himself to a very high standard, and he holds his teammates accountable as well. He's a teacher. You should see him go and coach and teach the wide receivers. He's what you want. He's a no-nonsense, no BS type of guy. And it's something that we were looking for in that position, and we feel like we got it, and we feel like we have the right pieces around him. And at the end of the day, football is not a beauty contest. You got to go do it. So we're excited about going and working and being able to do it on Saturdays.
I've been covering this league, Coach, since 1987, and many things are the same here in 2024 that they were in 1987. Some things are incredibly different. And one of them, I wonder from your perspective, just the name, image, likeness reality, right? Cam Ward was contemplating the NFL, and then you control what you can control, right? You recruit him, you coach him, but you don't directly control name, image, likeness. How do you describe that part of your new world? Because you guys are mostly control freaks, I know, but without some help from NIL, you might not have the talented roster that you have right now. How do you describe this new reality?
We trust that our NIL processes that are associated with the collective are the best of the best, just really professional and business-like. And so we don't worry about that. We worry about the other stuff, providing opportunity, development, and growth. And certainly we feel that if it comes down to that we're going to win. And it worked out extremely well with Cam and some other players, and we're going to continue to push that.
Huge compliment from your AD. I hope you've heard this quote. He says he's been in college football for 3 decades or more, and he says, you are the hardest working person he has ever seen in college football. Had you heard that quote, and what does it mean to you, if whether or not?
Yeah, I didn't hear it. I'm flattered by it. I would never pat myself on the back for that. That's what Miami needs right now. Miami, obviously it's been a tremendous school and a dream, but coming back to Miami and getting Miami to where it needs to be requires that. That's my job. That's my obligation. I'm honored to serve. And I'm honored that Dan Radakovich said those words about me.
Would you be willing to say this is the best or most talented or highest potential team you've had as a head coach, or do you not know that yet?
I feel really, really good and strong about our team. I don't, over the years I've never made many comments on potential or predictions or projections. I just don't, that world is
it's dangerous.
It's non-existent to me. Yeah. I can't, it's so abstract, it's so intangible. It has no value in my world.
Sure.
In my train of thought. But do I feel awesome about, I feel unbelievable about these guys because they run to work. These guys love to work, they run to work, they run to the fight. And when you have guys like that are talented as well, you gotta feel good about your chances.
King Neptune Restaurant in Wrightsville Beach is the longest running restaurant in New Hanover County. That's since 1947. And it recently was renovated to an impeccable degree by our good friends Jimmy Galeese and his amazing wife, Keaton. Their outstanding chefs offer fresh local seafood, salad options, and creative, tasty variations of pork, beef, and poultry dishes. King Neptune has always been a great choice for dinner and/or drinks, and now it's open for lunch and brunch too. Check out the lunch, brunch, and dinner menus at neptuneswb.com. That's Neptunes with an S, then WB for Wrightsville Beach. Again, the King Neptune Restaurant website is neptuneswb.com. wb.com.
It's Mario Cristobal of the University of Miami. Last thing for you, Coach. We in the media get a lot of nasty pushback from fans at times. You get even more than we do, given your very large platform. What would your message to UM fans be regarding something I'm sure you've heard complaints about, the Georgia Tech ending or late game management? It's part of your job to make sure that certain mistakes don't happen or aren't repeated. What is your message about that complaint from your own fan base toward you?
Well, I made a mistake, made a poor decision in the Georgia Tech game, and we assess, we reevaluate, and we go forward and we fix things, you know? And at the University of Miami, it's always been us against everybody. So the us, that means everybody's got to be on our side. Our people got to be on our side. We have done an unbelievable job building up this roster, putting together a great coaching staff, and taking on something that a lot of people were hesitant to do, you know?
Yeah.
Because we love Miami, we know what Miami needs, we're doing all the right things, and Miami's on its way to great things.
Last thing for you. Coaching is sometimes described as a nomadic existence, you know, a lot of job jumping and moving around. You were born in Miami, raised in Miami. You got the cool U logo on your lapel right now. You played in that uniform specifically. You're not the only one. Jeff Brom of Louisville may fit similar description for his school. But how does that change your day-to-day work ethic that Dan Radakovich celebrated, or what you feel deep down inside when you go to work every day?
Well, I think it's summed up like this. I think for the last 15, 20 years, I think Miami has kind of just been okay. And I don't think anybody's really stepped up to do anything about it, you know? And that, I hope that bothers everybody as much as it's bothered me, because my choice was to go away for 25 plus years and train and work hard and grind and establish ourselves as the coaching staff after learning under a guy like Nick Saban and going out west and winning conference championships to be able to come back to Miami and do the same. So while everyone was sitting around kind of hoping and wishing and maybe complaining, we went and did the work to be able to come back and do the work. So that's why we're here, and that's why we're excited.
His name is Mario Cristobal, University of Miami, one of the preseason favorites in this league we call the Atlantic Coast Conference. Coach, thank you for this extended visit on the David Glenn Show, and good luck to the Canes this year.
Thank you for having me. Go
You got
Canes.
it.